Hey guys, Dennis here, and we're back for another one of our Avengers Age of Ultron set visit reports with the infamous Jon Schnepp.
Hey,
How are
what's
you
going
doing?
on? I'm doing good. So, I'm back from London already again. And here we are in the brand new year of 2015, still talking about Age of Ultron. It's coming out in a few months.
Yeah, and we've done a few of these before, and this one we're focusing on Chris Evans, who plays Captain America. The one thing I noticed from the audio of the interview you guys did was he seems to have taken ownership of this role much more than he did at first, because I remember when he first took over for Captain America 1, almost kind of reluctantly, but it seems like he's having a good time with this now.
Yeah, I mean, I think while shooting Cap 2, Winter Soldier, I think he just came into his own and really realized, like, this is a great character. I'm having a lot of fun with this character. Everyone likes me as this character. But I think most importantly, he's having fun playing this character. And he got into the role of Steve Rogers, and now he is Steve Rogers. So it's one of those roles where you people who play different characters, James Bond, Batman, you always have this succession of different actors and actresses who play these roles, and usually they do 1, 2, or 3 movies and then they've moved on. And we're at this point now where this will be the 4th time we're seeing him as Captain America. Actually 5th if you count that little cameo from Thor: The Dark World. But what he's basically realizing is like, wow, I'm Captain America. More importantly, wow, I'm Steve Rogers, and I'm enjoying this. I can go and do other films, and I can come back to this. So, I mean, he mentioned a little bit about how, Avengers Age of Ultron is kind of shaping all of the main actors and actresses into that Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2, which will be kind of like when everybody's contracts are up and they're going to be renegotiating. But I think, Christian Bale was like, well, I could have played Batman again. I think Chris Evans is going to be like, no, I'm Captain America. I think by the time, Infinity War rolls around, I'll be like, no, I think I'm going to do Cap 4 and 5, I think I'm going to roll around for a little bit. I'm going to hang on to this shield for a little bit longer because he's really enjoying it.
Okay. And how do you think Joss Whedon's involvement is helping him establish his character and also his enthusiasm for the character itself?
Quite a bit. I mean, he admits that he's like, hey, Joss Whedon's a super nerd. I mean, he's like, the comic books are his thing. Saying, in essence, Chris Evans like, hey, he's not a big comic book reader, but he trusts comic book readers to do the right thing. Someone like Joss, who did a bunch of rewrites on the very first Captain America, as well as obviously writing and directing Avengers, throwing his 2 cents into the Captain America Winter Soldier script, and now Age of Ultron. So I think he feels really comfortable and confident in not only Joss Whedon, but his own decisions. Like, hey, I think Cap would do this, or changing dialogue here or there. But like he mentioned, Joss Whedon one day will just wake up and here's 9 pages of new dialogue, because he's always thinking about what will make the scene better, what back and forth will make the scene better, right up to when they're shooting. Hey, what about this? So, and he really likes that. I think that spontaneity is something that's really awesome.
With script changes that Joss Whedon has, for them on a consistent basis.
Constant, yeah.
Always rewriting.
Always,
yeah. And then how he mentioned a little bit about Black Widow and her and how she plays into this movie. Yeah. What else did he say?
Well, he kind of went into how they've had a relationship throughout all the movies so far, and especially Avengers. They established that, and they kind of, they really work together really well in Cap 2, and I think they're going to continue that because Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron, there is no more shield. Yeah. So I think the very first thing that I noticed upon arriving in a big bus with all these other guys who were part of this junket, we got off the bus, Shepperton Studios. We're walking, we're looking around, we're like, all right, we're gonna be checking out some Avengers stuff. In a little mini golf car driving along is Captain America. Literally right there, Chris Evans in the brand new cap suit with the A right next to it, a derivation of the Captain America suit that we've grown to see in the movies, but it's changed up just a little, ever so slightly. But right there he is. He's like, hey guys, what's up? And he was like, we're like, oh my God, that's Captain America. Literally.
The costume with the A on the side. Can you talk more about how that plays into the movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically, like I said, there's no more shield, and it seems like Stark Tower is now Avengers Tower. Basically, that they're all part of this one unit. They've had many adventures, and Avengers Age of Ultron just starts with them in action. And that is one of the most exciting things to hear is like, no, we're not, we don't need to even start it or develop anything. We're just, the Quinjet lands and you've got like a massive action sequence happening, which I think fans are just going to go nuts over. I think they're going to freak out because it's literally what you want right off the credits, and then you're in and there's action and it's happening right away.
Yeah, because in the first movie there was conflict amongst the characters because they hadn't formed the team yet, but in this one they're already formed, so they have to have an outside aggressor.
Yes. So yeah, there's been multiple Avengers missions and adventures in between Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. So this is just one of those things where, hey, they're on another mission. They've all been grouped together. They actually have a centralized hub, Stark Tower. So, and they've got their little logo. They've got the Avengers logo because, like I said, there is no more S.H.I.E.L.D., so they're operating on a smaller base.
And then also they talked about, both Chris Evans and Joss Whedon talked about Scarlet Witch and how she kind of messes around with the characters in Avengers.
Yeah, I think he was talking about like just powers in general. He was like, hey, I have to make sure, I had to make sure that like my powers don't just diminish. Like when I punch a human, they're not getting up. That's what he basically said, because he's a superhero. He's super powered. He can lift a motorcycle with one hand. So he wanted to make sure that in this movie that's never forgotten. At the same time, he has to go up against people that can avoid punches pretty quickly, like a giant machine, Ultron monster, robots and all these other kinds of things, as well as someone like Scarlet Witch, who can get into people's heads, alter their perceptions, alter their reality or what they think is real, change their thought process or change what they think other people's thought processes are, which is a very dangerous power, which is going to affect everyone in this film. So Steve Rogers among them. So.
Well, it seemed like Chris Evans seemed to be very involved and wanted to make sure the fighting of Captain America was always enhanced and growing.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure it's not like he's gonna be breaking out some Wing Chun, but it's at the same time it's not just front punch, haymakers, as he would say. He's just like just punch and kicking. He's doing some elaborate like fight choreography, using the environment, using where he's at, and taking advantage of that in the way that only Captain America could. So.
He also mentioned why he liked this, like filming the Avengers as opposed to a solo film. I mean, he likes the solo films as well, but there's a different dynamic going on.
Well, yeah, when you're doing the solo film, all the pressure's on you. You're in every single scene. When you're doing an adventure action-orientated film like this with a whole bunch of other members who are all part of a team, not only do you become more of a family, like he was like, did we ever leave Avengers 1? Oh, wait, and he said everyone just kind of like fit in perfectly. Vision, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver. He said, weren't you there for part 1? Because everyone just kind of like, it was like old home week that never ended. But at the same time, everyone kind of figured out, hey, if we broke this movie down, all of us kind of get 10 minutes of screen time, roughly. Some a little bit less, some a little bit more, but it's not my movie, it's our movie. And they all learned to like, not only just deal with that, but accept it and enjoy it. So that's what was great to hear.
And then also, I think you had asked the question about the lineup changes. What kind of stuff did he hint at for that?
There is going to be a lineup change. Yeah. He couldn't really go, even though, we're like embargoed to talk about certain stuff. He didn't go too far into the details of the lineup change, only to say that there will be a lineup change. And we've been guessing at it, so, obviously, I'd love to see Black Panther, maybe Captain Marvel thrown in there. Obviously, Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver are going to be part of the Avengers at the end of this movie. That's my guess.
Okay. Is there anything else that he talked about that you want other people to know?
No, other than that, he's just a really down-to-earth guy, and just seems to really be enjoying this entire process of being in these big films and doing such a great job embodying Steve Rogers and everything that he represents. So I think he's doing a great job, and I'm really happy to hear that he's enjoying being Captain America.
Okay, well, you're doing a great job of informing us, who did not get to go on set, about what's happening. And so thanks, guys, for watching. Schnepp, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at Twitter and Instagram at Jon Schnepp and TDOSLWH.
And we're also going to have more of these set visit reports. We've got Schnepp interviewed all the cast members.
All the Avengers.
Exactly. And so we'll keep on bringing them to you. You can find me on Twitter @ThinkHero or on Instagram Dennis.tzng. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/AMC Theaters. And see you guys next time.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.